Billy, a few exercises to work on until we see you next. Hands can either be supported behind the head or you could have a pillow under your head. We're moving into that open book, that rib cage rotation. My lower body stays still and make sure that my head is fully supported in the hands. And you can work through that movement maybe about 8 times on each side. And if there's a side that's really sticky, you can always repeat that side maybe about 4 additional times. We also did some leg work last visit. Top leg just floating to hover or disconnect from the bottom leg. The goal is that my head, my ribs, my pelvis stay in a pretty straight line, and I'm moving pretty freely at the hip. I bring my knee up towards the nose, and then I take my thigh back, forward, and then as I take the leg back, the goal would be that my knee comes to about at least in line with the pelvis or the hip. But again, my goal is that the pelvis and the ribs are going to stay in a pretty steady line there. And with that, I'd try that maybe about 12 times. And of course, you're going to repeat that whole series on the other side. And then we also did what we call kind of a prone press up. My hands are positioned by my chest on either side as if I was going to do a push-up. I want to make sure that the front of my hips or my pelvis stay on the mat. My lower ribs are going to remain on the mat. I'm going to start by reaching my elbows back and then beginning to float the head, the neck, the collarbones, a little bit more of the sternum, but again, I'm going to stop at the point where I'm kind of standing on those lower ribs and then lowering back down. And this one can be repeated maybe about 6 to 8 times. Again, elbows start. I'm lifting my gaze a bit forward. I'm trying to keep the back of the neck pretty long and lowering back down. Hope this helps.